Hi, I'm John Harney. This is my friend Don Alejandro. And there's two grumpy men on Russia. So I just got back from a trip to Russia, and I gotta tell you, we're doing something wrong in this country. We are not living the way we should be living. All right. I'm not saying that everybody in Russia is living the dream, but most of them are living the life they want to live. All right. I saw people that had very little and were so happy with what they had, and they didn't care about anybody else. You know, they just living their life. They were fine. You know, I found the food to be fantastic, much healthier than what we're eating here, and for some reason, while I was in Moscow, I saw things that I didn't see here. I saw, for example, contact lenses in a vending machine. You know, wow. You know, you put in your prescription and you get your contact lenses. I mean, I couldn't stop to think about what's going on in our country, that we are like somehow behind on some of these just social necessities that sometimes they used to be normal, like for example the eating at home and the good food and the wholesome food, but then also the advances, you know, like there's no balance here. So anyway, I think that the United States needs to take a long, hard look at where we want to be in the next 10, 20 years, and decide how do we as Americans integrate what the rest of the world is doing in our own society, because we're actually falling behind.
Well, once again, that used to be what America did best. America looked outward and says, oh, how do you do it? That's a great way. We're going to do it that way. We used to take the best ideas from all over the world and make them American. And that was what made our country great. And we forgot how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's interesting is that I think that the American mentality has grown such an ego that it doesn't allow it to look at any other culture and say, oh, they do this great, we should, you know, copy what they're doing and do it. Mm-hmm. And I think that we need to really understand what is it that we're doing in this world as a nation. What is it that is our role? There's other superpowers that are, you know, gaining ground. They're getting better. First of all, they're educating their people. You know, we have a huge amount of idiots out there that some people can't even read, for God's sakes.
You have the whole teachers union to thank for that. We had a whole conversation about that behind the camera, about how the teachers union wants more money to make stupider children.
Look, I think teachers should be paid, and I think that they need to be paid fairly. But hey, if kids are not learning, they're falling behind, and you know, we're like one of the lowest in tests around the world in math and sciences.
I have to make a point there that when kids enter school, Americans are on top of the world. I don't know if they're number one, but they're like top 5 or something like that. For every year that American kids spend in the public education, they lose ground internationally. They get stupider by staying in public schools. And the solution is to take time away from Shakespeare to teach about Harvey Milk, or, you know, to teach a leftist agenda. And, you know, if kids don't absorb it, you know, part of me understands, because it doesn't make sense anymore. That was one of the things I always tell the story. When I was in school, I didn't know whether to be pro-gun control or pro-gun rights. Yeah. I did not have the evidence.
I gotta tell you that, you know, going back to Russia, what I really enjoyed was that there was a sense of freedom. You know, you could buy the things you wanted to buy. I was in a village in the Caucasus, and there was a tank in somebody's garage. A tank that said to Berlin on the side, and I guess it was something left over from World War II, and I thought it was just so cool. And our very gracious host, his name was Genya, told me, oh, if you want to buy one, you can buy one. You know, you can register it and you can drive it. I'm like, how cool is that? You know, I mean, what level of freedom is that? You know, we talk about freedom here. Go try and buy a tank, and see how, what happens to you here. Over there? Yeah, sure. You want it? Okay, good. Go. I mean, most people will say, well, John, you're completely insane. I'm like, well, how can you talk about freedom if you're restricted on what you can buy or have or think or do? And it's like, well, some people might argue, well, I can't have you have a tank because you might shoot me. Well, then I have to restrict my freedoms for yours. There's a certain level of like, I can't put my finger on it, but I just believe that this country has not fulfilled its promise or what it was intended to do when our founding fathers set up the Constitution. I think that we have lost those freedoms, and other countries have adopted them.
Well, that's a wonderful subject for a future video, John.
So we got to wrap this up. Again, this is Two Grumpy Men, and I'm John Harney, and this is
Don Alejandro.
and